Good evening, race fans. Welcome to tonight's coverage of round 4 of the iRacing V8 Supercar Series. You're watching V8s Online. We're here with support from our good friends at the V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services, and the V8s Online Superstore. My name's Leo Gray, and with me co-driving tonight is the very own Stephen Sandman Clark. How are you, Sandman?
Good evening, Leo. Good evening, everyone. Really looking forward to this. It's nice that we head to one of our Aussie tracks on the calendar. We're lucky to have 3 in the series, and really looking forward to tonight's race.
Yes, of course, we're coming to you tonight from Phillip Island. It's a famous track of ours, one that we all know and love so well, and just a beautiful piece of road.
Yeah, it turns on some great racing, doesn't it? It's one of those racetracks. It's got a little bit of everything, and nice, fast-flowing racetrack. I think it probably sits as one of, there's a couple of turns there. It's probably Australia's second fastest racetrack with a couple of turns there. So great racing, as we saw in real life about Supercars over the weekend here in Australia. But no doubt we're in for a cracker for the iRacing series.
That's right. It's a very fast track, is Phillip Island. A lot of big moments at this place. You know, turn 1, which is just a super fast right-hander, and lots of undulations there as well. My favourite part of the track, actually, the back part, the hay shed. A super quick right-hander, and it's a lot of variety for our drivers, and it's a place that does make for fantastic motor racing. That's
right. Plenty of a couple of good passing opportunities here too. It will reward the brave if you're brave enough to stick it up the inside at turn 1. You can get a nice slingshot, use the draft down that front straight, and be interesting to see. I don't know how many people will be able to pull it off tonight, because unfortunately I think we're bouncing off the rev limiter. But you know, we'll see how we go. It's all going to play out a little bit differently, and yeah, I think it should be a good run into that turn 1.
It's going to be a fast and furious race tonight. We've got 23 laps ahead of us, only 100 kilometres. So it's going to be a quick one, but this is the variety that we like to see in our championship. So we're 3 rounds in already, and now coming to Phillip Island. It's always good to have something new for our drivers. We've had the intrigue of Okayama, that intense little fight at Oran Park, and of course that cracker of a race at Road Atlanta last week. So looking forward to see what Phillip Island can throw up for us.
And one thing that's sort of the question on everyone's mind is, can anyone stop Josh Muggleton? He's had a tremendous start to the season, 3 starts to the championship and 3 wins. So he's sitting P2 at the moment currently for provisional qualifying, but no doubt him and his teammate Madison down in the Tats.com cars will be awfully quick, as they are each and every week.
Yeah, Josh Muggleton, definitely our form driver at the moment. When you look back to last season, it's 5 wins in a row for him. But there's a driver who's trying to put a stop to that, and that is, of course, Madison Down. How are you tonight, Madison?
Yeah, good, Leo, and you're not wrong about Muggo. Need to put a stop to that quick. He's getting away with this championship.
Yeah, it's going to be an intense fight for sure, but still a long way to go, and sure you'll have something to say about that by the time the season's over, won't you?
Yeah, hopefully. I haven't had too much to fight with so far for round 4, but in the first 2 rounds I was pretty strong. Obviously missed last week being away, but yeah, Muggo's certainly got the pace, but also Sean Kelly tonight as well in the Hyperstimulator TTR car. He's been the class of the field all week in practice, so yeah, he's on provisional pole, so he's going to be pretty hard to stop as well.
That's right. Now, why don't you just quickly touch on what you just mentioned there, Madison? You were away last week, of course, doing some other motorsport activities, driving a little Aussie racing car. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, for sure. What an experience. Obviously, Race to Reality has been a competition that has been broadcasted by V8s Online throughout this year, and Race Centre's put that one on for us, and lucky enough to win that in the end. And yeah, got to have a first drive of a proper race car, Aussie racing car at Morgan Park on Tuesday, and what an experience. I mean, they are an amazing car. I'm completely blown away by them. They are so much grip, and the power to weight ratio is insane, so absolutely can't wait to get to the Sydney 500 later this year.
Yeah, we're certainly looking forward to following that one, but we'll touch base on that, of course, as things progress. All the best to that event, but of course we've got our own race to take care of tonight, so why don't you take us for a lap around Phillip Island?
Thanks, Leo, my pleasure. So you obviously slow out lap there, bring the tyre temperature down as much as you possibly can. Want to get a good run onto this main straight, take a wide apex at the lake, pick the throttle up nice and early, use every bit of road on the exit. by the start-finish line, you're already doing 260 kilometres an hour. You run down to turn 1, Sandman mentioned it. We've got a big tailwind down here, so you're actually on the rev limiter going into there. Going down to 4th, short shifting to 5th. Very committed corner. Turn in fairly early for turn 2. Try and pick the throttle up as soon as you can without oversteer. Bit problematic with we got 27 kilometre an hour winds here, so it's really tough to put the power down anyway. Brake as late as you dare into Honda. Using 1st, short shifting to 2nd. Try and pick the throttle up smoothly. It's definitely not easy. Siberia, very tricky corner. Massive slide there. As soon as you come up off the throttle pedal into Siberia with this tailwind, you'll hear a lot of drivers speaking about it. The car wants to jump sideways, but that wind does make it easier through Hayshed. It's easy flat. Up over Lukey Heights. Try and carry mid-corner speed, keep it smooth. Stay to the left as you come down into MG. First gear, use 2nd at the apex to get the power down a little bit better. Short shift to 3rd. Bring the throttle in nice and smoothly. Again at the last corner, try and late apex it. Very easy to turn in early. It did there, run out of road on exit. Not too bad of a lap. Phillip Island, a little bit away from the mark though.
Yeah, thank you very much for that tour around the place, Madison. It's a fantastic piece of road. How does this rate in terms of driver enjoyment to you, this place?
Oh, it's a great racetrack. Very fast and flowing, and seeing qualifying this week, it's actually not too difficult to put a pretty decent lap down. So you'll see a lot of guys very close to their potential or optimal laps, and bugger all in it. Basically, there's only a few hundred separating a lot of drivers, so it's a real driver favourite. As I said, it's very tough this season. We've got this new introduction of a wind, so it's a lot cooler track temperature than previous seasons, and also a 27 kilometre an hour wind, which is really blowing the cars around. I think in all the previous seasons it's only been 4 kilometres, so that actually has a massive effect on the handling of the cars.
It's something I was actually going to touch on. You beat me to it. It does sort of play havoc a little bit when you're testing, because every time you go into a session, sometimes the weather's different, and you set your car up thinking, yeah, you're good, and then you go to a different session and the wind's maybe a different direction, and you think, oh my God, I've lost half a second in the first sector, and then of course you make it up in the last bit with the wind. So it does play havoc a little bit when you're trying to do setup work. Is that right?
Yeah, for sure. It's been really tough to, as I mentioned, there's a few really key places with this wind and the direction of it. And through turn 1 and down the main straight, we're carrying a lot more speed with that tailwind. But at turn 2 and Siberia, those two left-handers, getting the power down through those corners is really hard. You got the wind blowing against the back of the car, so it wants to jump sideways. But in other places of the track, of course, going into Honda at turn 4, you've got a headwind, so we can brake probably 10 or 20 metres later there than previous seasons. So it's just different. It's a real challenge to set the cars up. It's something we all haven't had to deal with before. So no, it's been good challenge.
And challenges is exactly like what we want to see for our drivers. How do you think it's going to play out for the race tonight, Mads? Is it going to mean that you're going to have guys coming to the front that might be sort of quicker on the fly, easier to think on their feet a bit?
Yeah.
We may just be having a couple of technical issues there. We've just lost Madison down, but hopefully he can rejoin us again. But yeah, nevertheless, good old technology letting us down again. It let us down and bit us in the backside last week too, didn't it, Leo?
We love it. Exactly. Probably our version of what I was just about to mention. You know, the challenges that a driver has to overcome. As the commentators here, we've certainly got our own. Let's have a look at the championship standings as they sit right now. So 3 rounds completed of 12 in total, and Josh Muggleton is streaking away from things at the moment, 126 points clear of John Emerson. But it's still a pretty intense fight from there on, with Renz Brookman, Val Richies, and Lee Day rounding up the top 5. Lee Ellis not far back from that. Then you've got Wayne Burke, Madison Down, Bo Cubis, and Richard Hampstead rounding up the top 10. It's other drivers that are looking to move up forwards into that top 10. Bo Cattell, Tobias Cerny, Ian Ford, Marlon McMullen, and Dean O'Brien. And Matthew Hill, Sean Kelly, Sanjin Jalalik, Jared Filzel, and Chad Chastain are going to round out the top 20. There's a lot of very competitive drivers and some very close battles being fought there, Sandman. It's going to be a fantastic fight all the way to the end, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great top 20, no matter where you look. There's plenty of names all over the joint, but of course you take into consideration the drop rounds, which will come into effect as the championship goes on. Obviously, Madison missing last week has put him down the order a little bit, but at the end of the day, he really hasn't lost a lot if you take in consideration the drop round. So that'll benefit him as the season goes on, but I'm really looking forward to see how tonight pans out.
Most definitely. It's going to be a very intense little fight, as we said. Drivers are going to be on a knife edge all race long, and there's not going to be a lot of time to make a move. And looking at the qualifying times, things are very, very tight up the top. So this final session that we're about to enter into is going to be a real nail-biter, I expect.
It's one of those. It's actually a nice problem to have. It's one of the keys of having an Aussie racetrack on our service, where a lot of the guys really keen to get on. Whether it be Oran Park, Phillip Island, and Bathurst, the guys turn a lot of laps there. And then, of course, when it comes to crunch time in the championship race, the times are extremely close. So that's going to produce good racing, and the times are already starting to show that in qualifying.
Yeah, some big names up the front. And a few surprises up there as well. As Madison Down mentioned earlier in there, Sean Kelly having an absolute ripper of a week, currently topping the timesheets, about a tenth of a second clear of Josh Muggleton. And Sean Kelly hasn't actually scored a pole position so far, so he's going to be hoping for a very strong session about to come up, and hopefully we could see ourselves with a first-time pole sitter tonight.
Yeah, there's not much in it. He's only got sort of it's not even a tenth sort of to his teammate Josh Muggleton. So a nice addition to TTR. No doubt he's enjoying himself at the moment. Looking good for a TTR 1, 2, 3 at the moment. But there's plenty of guys like Renz Brooklyn, Richard Hampstead, and Brad Bryan, who's been awfully quick round here in the past. So a lot of those guys are there to upset the party. And the next qualifying session, which is about to get underway in about a minute or two's time, should be interesting to see if anyone can upset that TTR freight train up front.
Now, the event tonight is going to be a little bit different to the last time that we were here at Phillip Island. 23 laps this time around, whereas last time we were here for 40 laps. It was Justin Ruggier who came away with the win from a very close Josh Muggleton in second place there. Justin, of course, not with us at the moment, recovering from an injury, but hopefully he'll be back soon. Richard Hampstead, Lee Day and Sean Kelly rounded up your top 5. So it was an exciting race last time around, and we've got big expectations for tonight.
It bodes well for Muggo to go 4 in a row, doesn't it? When you see that he had a P2 last time we were here, and obviously got good qualifying pace at the moment. So anything can happen in these races. But good to see Justin Ruggier up there at the top of the sheets. We've missed him in the series, and we can't wait for him to get him back. Hopefully he'll be quickly on the mend and back behind the wheel in no time. We can have him back in our championship, because no doubt, as much as we miss him, no doubt his V8 Supercar fan group teammates miss him as well.
Yeah, if you're watching, Justin, hoping all's going well, and looking forward to seeing you back behind the wheel as soon as possible. Now, we should only be seconds away from the start of this qualifying session, which, as always, is going to be a fast and furious 20-minute dash to the flag, with a final opportunity for drivers to put together that perfect qualifying lap that they need to push themselves further up the order. There's not a whole lot in it at the front, as we mentioned, but always going to be someone looking for a little bit of room to improve.
So I'm looking forward to seeing how this weather plays a part too. Madison touched on it, and we talked about how the guys are bouncing off the rev limiter down the front straight. So when it's in the other direction, as far as head-on wind, the guys that can sort of tuck up underneath each other and get some sort of draft and slingshot, that should be interesting to see how that all plays out.
That could play a major factor in this qualifying session. But the other thing that I'll be looking to is to see the guys that are really able to come to the front and handle these adapt to these changing conditions, because set up data from the previous seasons, it's not going to mean anything. So you've got a very short time to get your head around the situations, and this is your last opportunity.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's frustrating for the competitors and the guys that are setting up race cars to try and get their head around these weather conditions. But I guess as a spectator and the guys up here in the commentary box, we enjoy that a little bit, because it sort of plays with their heads a little bit and can mix up the racing outcome too.
Oh, come on, we can't make it easy for them. All right. So 20 minutes of qualifying ahead of us. And this is the one that we all like to see. Last 20 minutes before our 23-lap, 100-kilometre race at Phillip Island tonight, and the last opportunity for the drivers to go for pole.
Of course, we don't have to worry about too much in the way of fuel saving. There is a tiny bit of fuel saving to take in consideration, but it's not much. I think it varies between each driver, obviously, but we're not seeing massive fuel saving, and we're not having to see a pit stop. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. Obviously, pit stops are rather interesting, but at the end of the day, you don't want to see massive loads of fuel saving for these guys, which they really won't have to worry about tonight, which is good.
Good. Now, we mentioned him earlier, and currently looking at Sean Kelly, who's our current pole sitter. All the drivers, of course, on the outlap at the moment. But Sean definitely has to be happy with his progress this week.
Yeah, no doubt his teammates, his new teammates at TTR, a nice addition to the team, and no doubt he's found his feet fairly quickly, and he's never been short of pace, and a good pick up at TTR, and I think it'd be good to have that fresh input that Madison can use, and that Josh Muggleton can sort of pick his brain, and they're all learning from each other, and that sort of is showing where their times are awfully close at the moment.
Exactly what a team and teammates are all about, and it's already showing how it's paying dividends. So Sean, crossing the start-finish line, began his first flying lap.
I do like these chopper views when you see where the guys actually position the cars, because some people will take different entries, whether they take a shallow entry or a little bit of a wider entry to some of these turns. Some people are happy to sacrifice exit speed or entry speed, so it's actually, you really do get a good indication from this view just to see where these guys position their race cars.
And there's a lot of corners on this racetrack that are like that, Sandman. There's a lot of different ways to skin a cat, and places like here, MG and Siberia that we're coming up to now, it's a compromise that the drivers have to find, and it's a challenge that's going to make for exciting racing. And now we're coming through this super fast section of track, right-hander known as the Hay Shed. It's a beautiful piece of road. And then up over Lukey Heights. It's a racetrack that's got a lot of everything, isn't it? And it's nice and wide, flowing, very fast. Great piece of road to watch racing on.
And the best bit is it's not all Aussie bias too. There's a lot of people that love this circuit, and yeah, it is in our backyard, but at the end of the day, it's got a lot of exposure on the European front as well, MotoGP and all that obviously here, and there's a lot of people all around the world that really, really love this racetrack.
That's right. A common comment that is often made about Phillip Island is that it has a European feel. It's got that the flow that you expect on you find a lot of racetracks over in those part of the world. And big moment from Sean. It's a challenging place as well. Driver on screen at the moment is Richard Hampstead. Of course, is someone who can always rely on to put in a good result. His current qualifying position is P5 at the moment. Currently sitting on a 1 minute 30.705.
Yeah, not a lot in it. We've seen Richard's driving styles over the last few weeks. He's definitely got pace on board that Falcon, even when it's not handling to exactly the way his liking is, but never rule him out. And P5 at the moment, but that can all change in a heartbeat.
Now here's a new skin for the season so far. This is John Emerson's Good Game TTL Falcon. Brilliant looking livery on this car, and it's always good when we get new sponsors into the series and new exposure for the iRacing Championship. And John Emerson has definitely been getting this car plenty of screen time, been at the front and in the thick of action pretty well all season long.
And of course, we won't dwell on it too much, but probably was on target to snag that win at Okayama. But I know in our household, that's probably one of the favourite cars, a Good Game Falcon, because my son loves that show, and every time he sort of sneaks past and sees me call on the race, he does sit up and pay attention when he sees that paint job. So great show, and it's good to see the support for him and John.
He's been driving well, John Emerson, this season. We know that he's a very confident skierer, but it seems like everything, despite Okayama, is really going his way so far. Of course, sitting very strong in the points, and I think that we can expect to see a win from him at some point through the year.
Yeah, he's definitely there or thereabouts, isn't he? Like I said, with Hammer, he's not short on pace. Emerson sitting in P8 at the moment. He's got to sort of find about sort of half a second to grab pole position. But at the end of the day, if he can find himself a couple of tenths, just move himself up the grid a little bit more, definitely one to look out for. You never rule him out. Doesn't matter what track you go to.
Yeah, every little bit helps. The further up the grid you can get yourself, the better. But the thing I love about this circuit is that it does lend itself to good racing and passing.
Yeah,
very
not too
wide.
far off his PB there too.
Very close, isn't it? Here's our hot lapper, Madison down in the Tats.com Ford. Mads is sitting in a very strong position 3 at the moment, 130.590, so nothing in it between himself and his teammates. Whole time right now, 1 minute 30.4, and he's not far off his personal best either, so nothing in it.
Tell you what, I did enjoy it. We can laugh about it a little bit. We were talking about Muggleton's success at the start of this season, and he's like, "Yeah, we've got to stop him." And although they're running under the same banner, they're both Tats.com drivers, but of course, the one person you want to beat each and every week is your teammate. So it's good they've got a nice, healthy rivalry there going within the team. But they're great mates off the racetrack. They share a lot of data, and there's no secrets between the two. There's no team orders, and that's exactly what we want to see through our racing.
What I always enjoy in a championship fight is having two really strong guys like this that we know are just going to be at it hammer and tong right to the finale. But we can't forget that there's plenty of other drivers that want to claim the throne as well, so we can't just be focusing on these two. Addison very, very close again to his best lap. That was a 1 minute 30.63.
Yeah, he's fast at 30.590, so he's really knocking on the door to maybe snag a position or two. Man on screen, Ian Ford. Fastest time for this session, 31.353. Just try and scroll down the order and find him in P15 with 131.342 so far for the week.
Ian's driving for the Multi 21 sim racing team, which is getting a bit of a presence in this series at the moment. Of course, teammates with the Osram cars, and we've seen those at the front quite a lot lately, so I think that we'll see Ian continue to progress up through the field as the weeks go on.
Yeah, his pace has been good this season. Probably luck hasn't gone all his own way the way the start of the championship's gone, but all the rest of it. But I've enjoyed many races with Ian, and I was happy enough maybe 6 or 8 months ago to be able to keep up with him. Now he's sort of starting to pull away on me in the Tiger, so he's got good pace, and I think he's finding himself fairly comfortable at the moment. So I think look out for him come the end of the season. Really knocking on the door for consistent top 10s each week.
So we'll see where that lap puts him. Best lap for the week so far, 31.3, and he's bettered that with a 31.255. So there's pace out there to be had. And it looks like he's actually continuing on.
255, so he'll jump up a spot. That's good. It's good to see he's getting a little bit of pace out of the Falcon in this last session, because there's a couple of drivers that are sort of there or thereabouts.
And one of the Overclockers Australia cars, Michael Fabian, beginning his lap. Very distinctive blue and orange livery on this car. Another one of the new paint schemes. Always an exciting thing to cover and follow at the start of a season. But Fabian is currently sitting P14, although I think that that lap of Ian Ford's might have just displaced him.
Actually, just having a look, there wasn't much in it. Fabian's been able to hold position. His fastest was a 31.246 compared to a 2.55, so literally nothing in it.
No, we're talking the smallest of margins. But, I think there's still time left out there for some of these guys. although Fabian, as I say that, abandons his lap. Now here's a man who's been doing a bit of racing lately. This is Matthew Barron, driving one of the Dynamic Sim Sport Movember cars. Now, Matty Barron, of course, had a fantastic race last night in the Prototype GT Challenge, finishing second in class for the HPDs. So he'll be wanting to carry that form into his V8 Supercar race for tonight.
Just trying to find him on the timesheets. Actually, I haven't got him in the top 25 at the moment. Looks like we're hearing maybe he's back in 30th. So there we go. He's just PB'd. We're hearing in our ear 31.725 for Matty Barron.
Gotta love the Movember car.
And of course, big favourite for our man Jay Kennedy. Actually, we haven't been able to sneak a photo of him. Actually, we should tackle him before the month's out and get a photo and maybe post it on Facebook.
Need to do that because there can't be much left now. Jay, you got no excuses. You've had 25 days to grow a bang and mow. We want to see it.
That's right. No pressure, mate. He's going to kill us. So we're just looking at the time. It's 13 minutes gone in this 20-minute session. Final qualifying before round 4 kicks off here at Phillip Island. And 23 laps. Going to be a great race, but the guys are just sort of finding their feet, trying to get a bit of clear air. And, of course, everyone's sort of jetted out now with
as we said, coming on to 6.5 minutes remaining in the session. And guys, right on the limit. Carwin May having a big slide through the first turn. Reset and go back out for another crack.
did a good job actually. Got the left rear onto the grass and held onto it, so he kept it straight. And that's exactly what you want to do.
And here's something that we're used to seeing, a Tats.com Falcon with the number 1 on the side, except that this season it's a different car with a number 1. This is Josh Muggleton. Jeez. Who had a bit of a scary moment there with Josh Emerson. Tom Emerson, my apologies.
She's a big moment. It was almost indicative of what the racing was at Phillip Island on the weekend. It looked like he just ran a little bit wide, coming onto the front straight, touched the dirt, and round he went. But lucky for Muggo not to clean him up.
Well, what that really shows us is that we're definitely into the last 5 minutes of this session. This is where things start to heat up. We're seeing cars off the track everywhere here.
That was Corey Preston who had a bit of a moment there on the inside and would have gave old Wayne Burke a bit of a scare there.
Yeah, drivers being kept on their toes from everything, from the weather, from the wind, and from the other drivers themselves. Wayne's a driver that's had a lot of screen time this season as well. He and Dean O'Brien and the Osram Falcons both been looking very strong this season. But he currently sitting in position 12 on the timesheets at 31.1. But Wayne a bit further down there, currently P25. Best time for the week is a 31.572. So we've seen those two drivers pretty close over the whole season. I think that Wayne will be hoping for a bit more out of these final 5 minutes to get him back up in line with his teammate.
Yeah, without stating the obvious, a couple of tenths in his back pocket would be handy come the start of the race. Back in P25, obviously not where he wants to be, but I think that's again the nature of this one of being a favourite track of a lot of people here in the V8 Supercar series. So times are incredibly close, and he runs across the line. That's a 31.678. So doesn't quite improve on his time, unfortunately.
Well, if you look at it and think that if he could pull 0.2 of a second as he has a big moment on the exit of 1. They're pushing very hard. He must obviously think that there's time left in it, but if Wayne was able to pull 2 tenths, he'd move up nearly 10 positions.
We're hearing that while we're watching all that, Hammer's just missed out on his PB. He punched out a 30.781. Hammer's there. 7:05 was his fastest for the week, so it's really close, isn't it? The guys are there or thereabouts, but really not punching out the times they need to improve too many spots. Josh Muggleton having his fair share of moments. He hasn't completed a lap in this qualifying session, and we're inside 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, it looks like he's probably only going to get an out lap, and then the one flyer. Although he's come back out of the pits. Got one of the V8 Supercar fan group Falcons on screen. This has got your end. He hasn't been able to get in a whole lot of practice this week, so any mileage under the belt is definitely going to be good for the race coming up for Scott. His best time for the session at the moment is a 31.440, so that should put him in about P21. That's his best time for the week.
It's a shame, isn't it, when sometimes real life commitments and all sorts of things get in the way of our sim racing, but he's doing a good job though to not have too many laps under his belt. He's punching away and finds himself just in the top 20 there. So at least he could be a lot worse, but he's making the most of the time remaining in this session.
Well, if you're an optimist, you'd say that he can look forward to making plenty of spots in the race.
That's right. Doing all right so far. He might be able to get a bit of a toe down this front straightaway too if he's lucky, but looks like it's been fairly clean. Obviously the timesheets may tell us a different story. So fastest time in the session, the 31.440, across this line 31.505, so not quite fast enough to go any quicker.
And now with only 60 seconds left in the session, we'll have a lot of drivers completing their final laps. Maybe a couple of guys wanting to see if they can cross the line in time to start another. But we'll have a look at Josh Muggleton, who is about to start a lap, and as we said, still hasn't put in a time this session.
It's not a bad problem to have though if you haven't punched down a lap in this final qualifying, because he still sits in a pretty handy spot in P2 like we touched on. As we ride on board, Tats.com driver Josh Muggleton as he heads into turn 1.
That view as you crest the rise is fantastic, isn't it?
And then these guys have to do it barreling into turn 1 with 25 of your closest mates next to you.
That's right, it's what we love to see.
Don't forget, Muggo's been famous for punching out a pole position lap in the dying seconds of qualifying, so it's fairly tidy so far.
He's quick in the first sector, so if he can put this together, we could be in for a bit of a surprise at the end, because of course the checkered flag has flown, the session is complete. The driver's now out there to finish their final laps that they're on, and then that'll be it.
So no one's really bothered the pole time of a 30.475. The closest one for that for the moment was Madison's Downs 30.6, but Josh Muggleton's car looks been fairly tidy over this lap. He's got only a couple more turns to go as he comes past pit exit. Can he grab pole off Sean Kelly, his teammate? He has to beat a 30.475 as he comes off the last turn.
Grabs a bit of dirt on the exit. Hopefully that hasn't cost him a 1x.
Oh, new PP, but not quite fast enough to grab pole.
Still a couple of guys out there completing their laps. Brad Ryan coming around the final turn. Currently sitting P6. Doesn't improve his time. But, that'll be a strong start for Brad Ryan. Matty Barron in the Movember car crosses the line of 31.6.
He's just gone PB, I think. 31.682 for Matty Barron. We'll just have to quickly go through the sheets. So the final couple of drivers just crossing over the start-finish line now. I think that would just be about it, I think.
That it is. That's the session complete. 20 minutes of qualifying done, and the results for this session on screen now. Got TTR cars up the front there with Josh Muggleton, Madison Down, Sean Kelly rounding out the top three, followed by Richard Hampstead, Brad Ryan, John Emerson, Dean O'Brien, Bo Cubis, Ian Ford, and Michael Fabian rounding out your top 10. So it was an intense little session, but what this leaves us with is a first-time pole sitter in Sean Kelly.
Yeah, that'll be great. Of course, we've just got to wait for the European servers to finish up qualifying, but I think you're right. I think he may have just snagged his first pole. So if that's the case, Kelly's going to be over the moon, and great result for TTR.
Yeah, it's always good to see somebody else getting their name in the record books. It's great to see good results from the teams, but also to share the success around means we're going to be excitement for us spectators here. But not long to go now until the beginning of the race. 23 laps ahead of us. Final qualifying session complete, so the grid is set. And tell you what, Sam, looking forward to this one.
Absolute pearler, mate. Love Phillip Island. 23 laps around here, and it's going to be a great run into one. I can't wait.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, viewers. Thanking once again V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services, and the V8's Online Superstore. Thanks for watching. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
This
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the V8's online coverage of the iRacing V8 Supercar Series. We're broadcasting to you tonight live and in glorious high definition with support from our good friends at the V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services, and the V8's online superstore. My name's Leo Gray, and with me along for the ride tonight, as always, Stephen Sandman Clark.
Good evening, Leo. Good evening, everyone. Really looking forward to this. Round 4 from Phillip Island. Should be fantastic.
Yeah, we've already seen a cracker qualifying session. There was a lot of action, and there was also a car with a mustache. That was Matthew Barron in the Movember car, but we've got someone to talk to. Our good friend here, Jay Kennedy, who started this whole thing. Why don't you tell us about that, Jay?
I'm going to kill someone. I'll say that first. Probably someone with a red beard would be my guess.
Yeah, good one.
I think that we've actually got a picture of that Mo on screen.
Don't worry. Can we just get that Mo off there like that? People are already tuning out. I can see the viewer numbers have dropped since that picture went up on the screen. So no more of that. Good to support Movember. This is year number 5 for myself doing Movember, and it's probably my best Mo, and it's the one year I cannot wait to get rid of it because it's really, really painful this year. So I think the bigger the Mo, the harder it is to keep it. So loved it.
Good effort, mate, and for a good cause. And of course, all the viewers out there can donate to support that fantastic cause. How do they go about doing that, Jay?
Yeah, just jump on the Movember website. They've got our own, I've got my own page. So mobro.co/V8's online, Jay. We'll post it on our Facebook page. Would love to get some donations, and I'm in a bit of a team at work, and a couple of the guys are now beating me. So a couple of dollar donations from a couple of people, and I'll be back in the lead. And I don't have the best Mo, but I might make the most money. So that's always for a good cause too, with Men's Health Foundations. So supporting Beyond Blue and prostate cancer research, which are two pretty important men's health initiatives. So yeah. Should be good.
As much as we joke and muck around, mate, we take your hat off to you, mate. It's a good cause, like you said, and we appreciate you being a good sport about it too, mate. It's really good to see what you're doing, mate.
Yeah, thanks, guys, and have a good call tonight. I'm going to go kick back and watch.
Not a problem, Jay. Thanks for joining
guys.
us, and sit back and enjoy some fantastic racing, because that's what we're here for.
Yeah,
23 laps.
Thanks, guys.
Not a problem, mate. 23 laps of Phillip Island ahead of us tonight. Fantastic motor racing circuit that we all know so well. Very famous piece of road. 12 corners, 4.4 kilometres make up this fantastic track. And it's a favourite amongst fans and drivers.
It's going to be some good racing. It should be good. Plenty of different things, weather and all sorts of things to take into consideration. And our man, Reece Gardner, thanks to Astro Gaming Headsets, will have his finger on the pulse. You got any news for us, Reece boy?
Currently no, guys, because the field has been incredibly quiet this session in particular. They've obviously been concentrating incredibly hard, but I've got one little bit of information from the Powerbond garage. Marlon McMullen talking to his teammate Tobias Cherney. Marlon says that he'll need a miracle this week, and Tobias will be carrying the team, so we'll see what happens in that respect. But other than that, 23 laps around Phillip Island. I have learned that it is a slight fuel saver race, so it'll be interesting to see which teams do what. So yeah, I'll be sitting back and watching as well.
Thanks for that little bit of info there, Reece. We'll have a look at the
problemo.
starting grid for tonight's race. And as we said earlier, pole position, Sean Kelly with a 1 minute 30.475. That's Sean's first pole in our broadcast series, so congratulations to him. But the other drivers hot on his heels: Josh Muggleton, Madison Down, Renz Brookman, Richard Hampstead, Brad Ryan, Matthew Hill, John Emerson, Val Ritchies, and Lee Ellis round out the top 10. And then making up the rest of the field, Tony Autridge, Dean O'Brien, Bo Cubis, Michael Fabian, Ian Ford, Bo Cattell, Curtis Chippeway, Tobias Cerny, Scott Uren, James McKnight, Wayne Burke, Matthew Barron, and Marlon McMullen.
Should be a great race. I'm looking forward to this barrel into turn 1. The guys are going to be side by side, having a red hot go. 23 cars, 23 laps. Should be great.
Most definitely. Drivers just gridding up now. Here, lights are up, revs rise. race in Phillip Island.
Tremendous start from Josh Muggleton. He's fired up into the lead already, and his teammate Josh Muggleton, Madison Down now. They're going to go into it. Looks like Polson has dropped a couple of spots. Sean Kelly now maybe back to 4th spot.
Well, look at how wide they got coming through that first turn.
Looks like someone's having a moment back out there in the grass. Oh, and there's big carnage back there too. One of the TGR players. It's Tony Aldridge is off into the fence. Wayne Burns had contact there with one of the V8 Supercar fan group Falcons. Scott Uren's off as well.
Carnage at turn 2 there. Number of cars involved. Got Bo Cubis involved in there as well. We'll see if we can get it up on a race recall replay.
Plenty of action at the start. Our race recall replays show you it's just everyone just trying to fire in there side by side. We saw one of the cars off onto the grass, but that's big carnage there, and a couple of cars are going to have their really work cut out for them at the start of this race.
Back up the front though, there's an intense motor race going on here. Something we've noticed, Brad Ryan has moved up from his 6th starting place up into position 3. So he's had a fantastic jump. Sean Kelly, the pole sitter, pressuring him as they round turn 12, coming onto the front straight for the first time.
Yeah, obviously not the start. Sorry, mate. Obviously the start Kelly didn't want, like you said, start with the pole. Now finds himself back in 4th place. But very early days. It's only lap 1. It's Josh Muggleton who leads over his teammate Madison Down. And like you said, Brad Ryan, great start. He'll be happy with that in P3.
I think Brad's going to be racy here. We know that he's going to be hungry for a good result. But there's a couple of really quick guys nipping at the heels here. We've got Renz Brookman, Richard Hampstead and John Emerson making up that battle pack for the top 7, it seems. They're all just a couple of car lengths apart the whole way through the field at the moment. No big separation thus far.
Renz was thinking about a bit of a look there on Sean Kelly, but thinks better of it going into the hairpin. There's a little bit of margin too back there on Kelly after that little bit of a fake, just a bit of wood, but now he's got Richard Hampstead right behind him too, and then behind him John Emerson. In reports, maybe there's been some drama, maybe with Curtis Chipaway. We're hearing Chipaway's in pit lane, so we'll see what we can do with our race recall replay and just give you, you may have been caught up in that first lap incident, I'm not quite sure.
Timing cycles through there, we see Curtis dropping back down through the order. I understand we've got a replay on screen. Find out what happened to Curtis coming through turn 1. He just, big moment there. And that's Curtis Chipaway retired from the race, unfortunately.
Just back at the lead there, Josh Muggleton had a big wiggle coming out of that turn, and that's given Madison Down the look. He's just going to have a look around the outside. Just lost a bit of momentum through that fast part of the racetrack, and that's really close a margin between him and Down.
Yeah, Muggleton held a slightly defensive line into that corner, just covering the inside.
Oh, we're hearing O'Brien back there in the background there. He's off. He just made maybe a slight bit of contact there with the tyre barrier.
I think he was trying to make a bit of a Michael Fabian and wasn't quite able to make that one stick. But he rejoins back on the road, hopefully without any damage.
Oh, yeah, just got sideways under power, and I think he may have actually kept it off the tyre barrier, which would be good for him.
Fight for third is heating up. We've got Sean Kelly putting massive pressure on Brad Ryan. These two drivers ex-teammates, of course, so see how that all pans out through the race.
Obviously qualifying showed that Kelly's not short on pace, but the one man you never want to rule out, Brad Ryan, he always seems to shine. But have a look up front, there's a side-by-side battle between the Tats.com cars. Madison Down has a think about look up the inside. He's now on the wrong part of the racetrack. He'll try and think about a crossover move. but Muggo looks like he'll hold on, but Down really looking pacey in this part of the racetrack. Oh, sideways!
Big sideways moment for Madison. Looked like he was going to have a good run out of the southern loop, but just lost a little bit of grip on exit, so Muggleton able to hang on, but he's coming under considerable pressure from Madison Down.
And that's the exact same part of the racetrack that Muggleton just lost that pace to. He got sideways on that exit the lap before, and that's what closed the margin between him and Down.
It's tightening this top 5 up together as well. There's less than 2 seconds from Muggleton back to Brookman, who's currently in P5. And if these two Tats cars continue to fight, then that'll squeeze up big time.
So there's a little bit of a margin back here. Matty Hill's just dropped off the back there of John Emerson. He's got himself a little freight train. It's Hilly over Vale Ritchie's, Lee Ellis, Michael Fabian and Ian Ford. And that battle there is all the way back to 12th position.
These lap times are remarkably close. Looking at the times all the way through the top 10, there's only tenths of seconds in it. And that's why we've got this fantastic fight for the lead right now. And the top 7 cars right on top of each other.
Oh, you can see as we're on board here with Brad Ryan, looking out the back there, you can see Sean Kelly's really starting to close that margin behind him. So Kelly's now, although he didn't get the greatest of starts, his pace is really starting to come on as the laps dwindle off.
He's going to want to make amends for that start. Could have gone a lot worse, of course, but couple of positions to make up. He's definitely going to want to get back onto that podium. Brad Ryan is driving a very wide car at the moment, though, it seems. Just some of the lines that he's taking through these corners seem to be taking a bit of speed away from Kelly. But if those guys up the front close up tight once more, it's going to bring these guys right back into the equation. And on that, Madison Down having what looks like a bit of a look over Lukey Heights. I still think that some of the lines Muggleton is taking, he just seems to be covering the inside ever so slightly, just to put Mads off having a last minute late dive. But he's going to hold on once more. They round turn 12 for another lap. It's Bill Muggleton from his teammate Madison Down, Brad Ryan, Sean Kelly, and Ren's in your top 5. So Muggleton doing everything that he needs to do right now to set a little bit of a record here for V8's broadcasting. That would be for the most wins on the fly. He's won 3 straight to begin the season, but actually had 2 wins to finish out season 3. If we can put this one together, that'll be 6 on the trot.
Because we showed some of the results the last time we finished right behind Justin Butler, so he knows the place well. He's got a good pace, and he's got his work cut out for him at the moment. His teammate Madison Down all over the back of that Tats.com Falcon. It's almost braille as they go through the hairpin, a bit of nose to tail action, but just enough of a gap there, so they're having a good go, but really looks like Down is the pacey one of the 2 at the moment.
Still some strong fights all the way through the field. Nothing really getting too far strung out here, but battle for 10th position at the moment. Michael Fabian chasing down Lee Ellis. Those 2 guys part of a larger freight train, of course, involving guys like Matthew Hill, Val Ritchie's, and Ian Ford as well. Just the nature of this racetrack, it brings the drivers closer together, and it doesn't really give many people opportunities to run away, but it's still not the easiest place in the world to pass. An exciting track for racing. A driver that Reese mentioned in his earlier report, Marlon McMullen, currently running P15. He's actually moved up quite a number of spots from his starting position. Started shotgun on the field in 23rd. Currently running P15, so he should be happy with that for the moment, especially considering that he's ahead of his teammate Spice Cerny.
That's right, mate. Just keep nose out of trouble. I saw a couple of people fall off the racetrack, and what we're hearing that big motor here, Kelly's got it, so Brad Ryan may lose another position here. Renz Brookman all over the back of Kelly. So that moves, all over the back of Ryan. That's Kelly into third place now.
Yeah, Brookman and Ryan were side by side again into Siberia. We'll see if we can pull up a race recall replay of the move that Kelly put on Brad Ryan.
Just gets a nice run into the hairpin, deep under brakes, gets the car position up the inside. There's nothing there that Brad Ryan could have done. It was a great move. Then, of course, Ryan got a little bit loose on exit there, and that gave the chance for Brookman to have a look at him too.
So that's freed Kelly from Brad Ryan there. It looks like he's stacking the guys behind him up a little bit. So yeah. Kelly going to be trying to get hot on the heels of those Tats cars, and Ryan going to be fending off a couple of cars here because look at the run that Richard Hampstead's got on Renz Brookman.
As I think about
nose out into turn one.
He thought about it. He just showed his nose to the inside of turn one, but yeah, you can see nice nose to tail action for these three guys.
This is a brilliant little fight. John Emerson wanting to buy into it as well.
Just have a look at the margin that Ryan's lost from Kelly just from that half a lap once Kelly got the move done. It was it's incredible pace, but Brad Ryan really fallen back into the glitches here. Oh, sorry, we just got big moment there for Renz Brookman. He's fired off the racetrack, off onto the grass. Looks like he made about a little bit of contact there with Hampstead. Just tagged the back of him and fired him right off the racetrack.
It was massive, massive contact. Hampstead tried to make him under brakes. The two cars made contact. We'll see this on a race recall replay, but unfortunate situation there. Brookman got fired off into the infield in a big way.
Heartbreaking stuff, Brookman. That puts him back in 19th place, right behind, looks like, no, Dean O'Brien, maybe 20th place now. So, unbelievable.
Seems like it might have been one of those situations where a couple of unfortunate circumstances come together. Seems like there could have been an element of netcode in there, but I think at the same time, Brookman was maybe being a bit cautious under brakes with Brad Ryan in front, and Hampstead tried to have a big lunge, and it didn't all work out.
This action here, Marlon McMullen's definitely got his hands full here. It's James McKnight trying to go around the outside, but that's brought Tobias Cezerny. Now Cezerny will have a nice inside run. He'll get the position on James McKnight. If he holds on, he can't quite do it. They're going to go side by side, coming into the hairpin. McKnight will have position as they come into the hairpin though.
Yeah, but if Tobias can hold on around the outside here. Oh, McKnight shuts the door and manages to hold position heading into Siberia. So great piece of driving by these guys. I think a lot of very, very smart defensive moves from all of the drivers, which you need to be around here.
Tell you what, look at this battle up front. Josh Muckton over his teammate Madison down, but look who's right behind him. Sean Kelly has really closed that margin over the last couple of laps. Once he got clear of Brad Ryan, he's really started to work on catching the two up front. They're all out of the same stable, but it's the Tats.com boys over the Hyper Simulator boys there. So great little battle for first, second, and soon to be third.
And that time round, Sean Kelly was the quickest of those first three, and also the quickest car on the track. He was nearly 3/10 quicker than Josh Muggleton, and Madison Dow was also quicker than Muggleton. So Muggo the slowest of the three, and this is going to bring this fight right in together.
This little battle hasn't stopped here for 14th, 15th and 16th. Marlon McMullen over James McKnight. Of course, Tobias Cezerny hanging in there as well. So this guy's got him a nice little tussle. And as we say each and every week, you don't have to be up front, but it looks like he's going to get a run on the inside of Marlon McMullen. James McKnight positions the car. Marlon will try and hold the outside. He'll now have the inside run into the hairpin. Oh, and it brings Tobias in now. Tobias will try and go sideways here. McKnight can't quite get the power down, and Tobias will get the position. So a great job there for Tobias Cezerny to pick up another spot. over yet, though. McKnight's fighting around now. He's got the inside run into here. So a nice bit of driving, nice bit of switch back there. Just when you thought that Cezerny had the job done on McKnight, McKnight fights back and gets the position back.
Brilliant bit of driving by James McKnight to get between these two Powerbond boys. But also a good move by Tobias to back out of it there, because you can't run side by side through the hay shed.
Battle on screen now between teammates, Brad Ryan and Richard Hampstead. Of course, Richard just had his moment there before. Finds himself in P4 now, so sorry, P5 over his teammate Brad Ryan. But Brad just looks like he had pace at the start, but slowly starting to drift back a little bit and losing touch from the leaders.
Yeah, Brad Ryan's lap times aren't quite there at the moment. Might have been a precious thing. Hampstead thinking about a move into MG. Like there's a little bit of an overlap on the exit, but also just highlighting the different lines that drivers are able to take around this racetrack. Hampstead swinging way out wide to maximise his drive with the folding straight. But Brad Ryan's car doesn't look the tidiest right now.
That exit speed is fantastic, but a good job from the TTL drivers. Was it 4th back to 8th? So nice little run for teammates there.
Hammer thought about a look down into the hairpin, but thought better of it.
How's this up front? Talking to teammates. Sean Kelly, once he got released from the back of Brad Ryan, he's really started to pull in a little bit wide there for Madison down on exit. Didn't lose too much speed, but really bringing Kelly into the fold here.
We'll jump on board the hyper-stimulated TTR Falcon. Why don't we ride with Sean Kelly for a lap around Phillip Island?
Sorry to come in over that, but it looked like he was going to drill the back there of Madison down.
Kelly is the fast man of these three at the moment. His lap times are consistently quicker than the Tats cars. But I tell you what, only on lap 12 and 23, Kelly's still in this for a fight for the win.
While we've been watching all that, McKnight's had a massive moment. He's dropped back to, I think, 19th position now. So he was, of course, having a great battle there with Mullen and Tobias Cezerny. So finds himself way down the order, had a bit of an excursion, unfortunately.
And at the same time, during that lap, Richard Hampstead managed to get around Brad Ryan.
So it's lap 13 of 23. It's your leader, Josh Muggleton, over teammate Madison Down, and TCR teammate Sean Kelly in 3rd. Then it's back to Richard Hampstead 4th, Brad Ryan 5th, John Emerson 6th, Matty Hill in 7th, Var Richards in 8th, Michael Fabian in 9th, and then Lee Ellis back in 10th, but not far behind him. He's only in 4th and 11th, so a great little battle back there.
Yeah, that battle for 9th, 10th and 11th has been on the whole way through the race. Ian Ford having a big slide out of the slow corner there and putting massive pressure on Lee Ellis at the moment.
He's done a good job, hasn't he? Ford started back in 15th place, so sitting there knocking on the door for top 10, and like you said, pressure in the back of Ellis. It's definitely not over with about 10 laps to go.
So we are now getting to the business end of this event, and there's a couple of distinct battle packs that have formed. Of course, you've got your front front three up there. A couple of other little packs that have formed all the way through the field. But have a look at drivers that have made progress through the field right now. The big mover in the race thus far is Matty Barron, up 10 positions in the P12. Also guys like Michael Fabian, he's made some big gains. And big losers out of the race so far. Sean Kelly, our pole sitter, down 2. Dean O'Brien's lost a couple of spots, but heartbreak there for Renz Brookman, as well as Curtis Chipaway, Tony Aldridge and Bo Cubis, who have all had dramas and are out of the race. But I tell you someone who is in the race, that's Sean Kelly, putting big pressure on those Tats.com cars. 10 laps to go. It looks like Madison Down getting a little bit taily there.
Yeah, it's sort of the nature of that's been happening in the last couple of laps, especially coming onto the front straight. Just Madison's just been touching the dirt there, just bringing up a puff of dust, but hasn't been having too big of a moment. But just enough to really bring Sean Kelly back into the fold. He's almost bumper to bumper there with Madison Down. But definitely looking pacey here out of the 3. And I'll tell you what, if he hadn't lost all that time at the start, it could have been a different story. Emerson just had a bit of a moment there behind the back of Brad Ryan. Of course, all TTL teammates here, 4th back through 8th. So great showing for this team. It's battle of TTR versus TTL.
Yeah, this is that second pack that I mentioned, and they've been all over each other all race long. Emerson was much closer to the back of Brad Ryan, and of course, he had that good little fight with Richard Hampstead. It's still a long way to go, 9 laps, but this is where things are really going to start to heat up, and tyre condition going to be a big thing here.
Have a look at this battle down the front straight. A little bit of blocking maybe. Marlon McMullen, great run into turn 1. Oh, contact there, Dean O'Brien. Marlon McMullen's off onto the grass.
He's copped a big serve from Dean O'Brien into turn 1. But as the saying goes, play with fire and you might get burnt, because they were going all the way down the front straight on the inside. That was never going to work. It was going to end in tears for somebody, and it's Marlon McMullen who's come off second best.
Yeah, O'Brien had a good run down that front straight, and Marlon coming into the turn, and unfortunately just a little bit of nose-to-tail contact. O'Brien just touched him in the braking zone, and Marlon was off. He was a passenger from there.
Definitely want to see that on the race recall replay. Right on board with Dean O'Brien for this one. And look at the fantastic run he's got on the Powerbond car.
Just a little touch there, and once that contact was made, it's such a fast corner. Marlon couldn't do anything about it. Once he touched the grass, he was just a passenger.
It did seem like right at the turning point that both cars were sliding right on the limit of grip, so gonna say in defence of Dean, it probably wasn't intentional, but still pretty ugly situation to be in.
So Madison Down just starting to pressure the back here of his teammate Josh Muggleton. Madison, of all people, really wants to stop this charge. Muggleton's had a great start to the championship at Down. All over the back, looks to the outside, just tries to position the nose just around, see if he can get a bit of a crossover move, but Muggleton's all over it. He knows what Down's going to do, and he just positions the car nicely. Great bit of driving by these two, but Muggleton, you can see the rear of his thing starting to move around a little bit.
It's doing it quite a lot actually, Sam, and he had a bit of a slide into the corner and another one on the way out. We've seen him on the way into MG a couple of times now, positioning the car defensively, which of course is going to hurt his exit, but he's just covering the way out just to make sure Down isn't going to have an easy way through.
How's the racing between these two? Oh, you can barely get a cigarette paper between the two, nose to tail there, no contact, so great driving and a lot of respect between these two teammates.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of a drive Down can get off this final turn. His car looks like it's got a bit more grip in the rear at the moment. Muggleton maybe a little bit wide of the apex at turn 12. And down the front straight, let's have a look at the back of Muggo's car and see the way that Madison Down's just able to close right up onto the back of him. 7 laps to go. And we're just going to quickly touch in with Reese in the pits for Astro Gaming headsets. What have you got for us, Reese?
I haven't got much, but I do have a small little bit of info from Overclockers. Apparently, Michael Fabian suffered a little bit of bent steering at the start of the race. I can't quite confirm that, but if he did, then he certainly was doing quite well in the early stage of the race. I was going to say, I took a quick look at Split 2. I wasn't able to get the top 10 running order like I have been doing for the last few races, but it seems that normal top split driver Adrian Stratford was knocked down to the second split. Unfortunately, his car won in there, and he didn't qualify. He started 21st. When last I checked, he was running 12th after pulling quite a good move on the guy that was in 12th place.
Thanks for that update, Reese. Hope you're enjoying the race, because you certainly are up here.
Oh yeah, I certainly am. It's been fantastic so far.
Well, thanks again. We'll talk to you later, buddy.
A little bit further down the pack for P10, it's Michael Fabian in ninth, trying to hold off Lee Ellis. These guys have had a pretty much nose-to-tail battle from the drop of the green flag, so good run between these two. Probably a little bit further back than we're used to seeing Lee, but nevertheless, it's racing, and it looks like he's having a good bit of battle there with Fabian. Oh, look at Downsing moving around this gearbox cam from Muggleton. You can see just where Madison's starting to close up. He's good under brakes here, but just can't quite position the car to get it. Look how close he gets there under brakes, but just can't quite position the car enough just to get alongside him.
Brake like for sim instruments, of course, and that is the piece of road where Muggleton is doing his best defensive driving. He's covering the line on the way in, and of course they'll give you a slower run from the way out, but he's able to just keep down right behind, right where he needs him, and that's how he's able to hang on so far. But there's not long left to go now, and Madison Down's going to be hot at the heels the whole way to the flag.
Check out this battle between Matty Hill and Vale Ritchie's. Vale looking quite pacey here. Looks like Philip's just dropped off a little bit from the back of Emerson in the way of 2 seconds, but still not over here between teammates. Great little battle these guys have been putting it on for the last few laps.
Just the nature of this place, isn't it? As soon as multiple cars get together, the fight that ensues is just going to be fantastic.
Brad Ryan's having his fair share of internet issues, unfortunately. Hopefully that holds on for the next couple of laps. This is only lap 19 to 23, so doing a good job holding on in P5. So only a few more laps to go, and it's a great little battle here between teammates. But as we see up front and back here, these guys, doesn't matter what sort of paint job or what garage you come from, they're all going to race each other just as hard.
Beacon it back up the front. Madison Down is all over the back of Josh Muggleton in MG there. But Muggleton able just to keep his Tats.com teammate behind him right down to Siberia, and able to hold on for another lap. So he's doing everything right now is Josh Muggleton. But gee, I reckon he's going to be sweating under the helmet there.
You're not wrong. And what a start to the championship. We've already talked about, well, he's had five wins straight if you consider the last 2 rounds of the championship, but a great start to this season. The opening 3 rounds have gone to Muggleton. He's obviously sitting in the catbird seat at the moment. He's got his teammate Madison Down right behind him, and of course Hyper Simulator teammate in Sean Kelly. But if Sean wants to take this win, he needs to make the move soon, because it's just the last lap or so just dropped off a little bit to the back of Madison Down. But as the old racing adage is, catching's one thing and passing's another, and these guys are fast running out of laps.
He's still on the pace though, is Kelly, but I'm wondering if the frenetic pace that he had up to catch the back of these guys hadn't burnt up his tyres too much. But the race he won at the moment is definitely Madison Down. Looks like he's able to position the car a bit more where he wants it to be compared to Muggleton. But despite that, all 3 of these cars looking a little bit sketchy in the rear at some points.
This battle back here. McKnight's now up in front of McMullen after McMullen's earlier incident, and Scott Uren. So these guys battle out 17th, 18th and 19th place.
As we often say, it doesn't matter where you're running or who you're racing against. Come up against another car, it's just a racer's instinct to fight as hard as you can. And she makes for great viewing.
Yeah, everyone down all the way up and down the field have put on a great show. It's been great racing, and really appreciate everyone's effort that they put in each and every week. It's a great series and a great race to call, and plenty of great racing up and down the field, as we said. This battle hasn't backed off between Fabian and Ellis. Ellis still hasn't been able to find a way past the overclockers AU Falcon of Michael Fabian.
He hasn't. He's running out of time now. 3 laps to go as we cross the control line.
Oh, look at this battle. McMullen's got Scott Uren trying to, he's got to look up the inside now. Lines up a bit of the curb there. Now they're going to go side by side. Great bit of racing real estate between each other. But Uren's going to have the move. Almost nose-to-tail contact there between him and McMullen. But Uren will get the job done as he comes down the front straight away. Nice racing and plenty of respect between those two.
Brilliant move, leaving each other just enough room to be able to complete the pass successfully and cleanly. Nicely done, Scott Uren.
Oh, have a look at Ellis here in the Hyperstimulator Falcon, all over the back of the Overclockers AU Falcon. And couldn't quite get the job done. Actually lost just a little bit of real estate there as he tried to move, but needs to hang in there. He knows he's fast running out of laps. Lap 21 of 23.
Coming over to Lukey Heights, another 2 of the TTL cars that we mentioned. Matthew Hill and Val Ritchie's. They've been having a good little dice for the last couple of laps. Hill looks like he's just dropped back into the clutches of Val for a little bit there. That'll be a good one to follow straight down to the flag. As they're coming down to 2 laps to go this time by.
Tell you what, like you said, 2 laps to go. Muggleton's just got himself a 0.6 second of a margin over Madison Down, and it's almost a second back there to Sean Kelly from Down. So, I don't know. Could it finish this way? I don't know. But Josh Muggleton definitely looking good to grab 4 wins in a row to start this season. And of course, that'll make it 6 on the trot.
He's done everything right. Got the jump off the line. Been able to maintain the gap back to his teammate. Just keep him safely behind him. But gee, I tell you, it hasn't been easy. Muggleton having his teammate for pressure the whole way through the race, and Sean Kelly for keeping these guys honest as well. But for the time being, Muggleton does look like his car's come out the strongest at this final portion of the race, which 10 laps ago it didn't look like such a sure thing.
That's right. He definitely had his work cut out for him. Old Burke here, he's got his hands forward, the Osborne Falcon. A bit of a wiggle there on exit. Looks like he may be just struggling with 3 tyres there, back in 16th place.
Ellis off. Ellis in the sand trap. Looks like he's gone off over Lukey Heights. And himself in the gravel. How did that happen?
I don't know if it's just change of direction as he's coming past Hayshed. He's just he's just got the left rear on the grass and it's gone round sideways. He hasn't been able to hold on to it. In through the gravel trap. He's kept it off the fence, but thrown away a great position there inside the top 10.
Hard luck for Ellis. Moves Ian forward up into position 10. Damn man, we're on the final lap now. Less than 4 kilometres left to run. Muggleton still in the lead, but Down having a big lunge into MG. This is his last opportunity.
Down hasn't given up, but I'll tell you what, Muggo's done everything right. He's a new driver this season. Once he got that championship hoodoo off his back, he's been able to string together a great start to this championship. And of course, if he wins with only a half a lap to go, it'll be 4 this season, but 6 straight from last season. Fantastic effort.
Hasn't put a foot wrong all race, hasn't put a foot wrong all season. He's doing everything right. This is the perfect title defence. Perfect beginning to a championship fight as well. This has been a fantastic drive from Josh Muggleton. As he rounds the final turn, this is going to be 4 wins from 4 starts, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that's ever been done to begin a season before. So, record-setting pace for Josh Muggleton. He's going to take the race win. 4 wins from 4 to begin the championship. What a fantastic drive by Josh Muggleton.
Great result for him, a great result for Tats.com. Yet another Tats.com 1-2, and that makes it a TTR 1-2-3 with Sean Kelly coming in third in the Hyper Simulator Falcon. Richard Hampstead will be in 4th, Brad Ryan 5th, John Emerson 6th, Matty Hill in 7th, Var Ritchie's, we're going to, all the results, there's a couple of changes there at the end there, but everyone's just starting to come across the start-finish line now. A brilliant race. We saw plenty of action up and down the field, and the guys turned it on from the start.
It was an intense little race, wasn't it? You had fights the whole way through the field from 1st down to 20th, and it didn't let up from the green flag. And even though Muggleton came away with a commanding win, leading all 23 laps of the race, certainly never call it easy. Got our race winner on screen right now. Having a bit of a celebration in the grass there is Josh Muggleton. We've seen a lot of this so far this season.
Yeah, great start to his title defence. He'd be absolutely over the moon, and it all came down to the start, didn't it? Kelly didn't get the best of starting from pole position, and Muggleton was able to get away and held that margin. He had plenty of pressure all race long from down, and it was just brilliant to watch from start to finish.
We won't run through the race results here. After 23 laps complete at Phillip Island, Josh Muggleton, our race winner. Very close margin back to his Tats.com teammate Madison Down, and Sean Kelly rounding out the podium, and a TTR 1-2-3. So we've got Richard Hampstead, Brad Ryan, John Emerson, Matthew Hill, Val Ritchie's, Michael Fabian, and Ian Ford rounding out a very strong top 10. Followed by Bo Cattell, Dean O'Brien, Lee Ellis, Matthew Barron, Tobias Cerny, Wayne Burke, Scott Uren, James McKnight, and Marlon McMullen, the cars completing the race. Then, of course, we had Renz Brookman, Curtis Chipaway, Tony Ortridge, and Bo Cubis, drivers who all encountered drama.
Tell you what, great result for, we said TTR for the team, but great result for TTL too back there, sealing 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. So a brilliant effort for a largely unsponsored team. So a brilliant job for those guys. And of course, if anyone wants to get out there and support a team, there's a team right there that would love to have your logo on the side of their race cars for this series. They've done a great job.
It's a massive show of strength from those guys as well to have all 5 cars positioned where they are. And we saw good pace earlier in the season as well from John Emerson. And I think we'll see those guys through for a win at some point too.
Yeah, no doubt. Brilliant racing here at Phillip Island. And, mate, that only fires us up for next week when we head to Interlagos.
Oh, can't wait for that one. There's a lot of good races to come, actually. There's a lot to look forward to. Of course, after Interlagos is the big one. That's going to be Mount Panorama. But, of course, if these TTL drivers, or certainly any of the other drivers, are going to get onto the top step of the podium, there's one guy that they're going to have to get around, and that's Josh Muggleton. I don't think that that there's ever been quite a start to a season like this one. He hasn't put a foot wrong. He's done everything right, everything that he needs to do, and reaping the benefits of it.
He's done well, hasn't he? For a man, seasons gone by, he wasn't known for getting off to a great start to a championship season, regardless of his results from the previous seasons. He always didn't start strong, but he always came good at the end of the season. But he's definitely turned that round, and to go from 4 for the start of this season is sensational.
So we've got some drivers entering the commentary box now, so why don't we have a bit of a run through? We'll have a talk to our race winner, Josh Muggleton. Fantastic drive, Josh. Didn't put a foot wrong all race, but it seems like there was massive, massive pressure. Did well to hold off your teammate. Congratulations, 4 from 4.
Woohoo! How good's that? It's, yeah. Obviously can't get a better start to the season than that. So, yeah, really happy. Madison, as always, put massive pressure on and tried to force me into a mistake, but luckily held it all together and save fuel in the right spot so I could cover when I had to, and yeah, brought the Tats Falcon home in first again.
Now, I don't know if you've been following this or keeping tabs, but we look back to last season. That's actually 6 wins on the trot for you, Josh. So you're the form man at the moment, and it's going to take a lot of work to beat you, it seems, at the moment.
Yeah, well, the next few weeks I'm away getting married and all that sort of stuff. So it's a good start. I needed to do that if I wanted any chance of defending the title again. So yeah, everything's just clicking pretty well at the moment. So got a handle on the car and a good feel for it, and it's obviously paying off.
Great result, mate. Obviously for TTR, bringing home a 1-2-3. Newest recruit Sean Kelly didn't get the greatest of starts, and of course that's where I guess for you the race was won and lost. But plenty of pressure from teammate Madison Down, and then Sean Kelly there for the trio there towards the end.
Yeah, absolutely. The other two boys tried to jinx me into not getting a good start again, and luckily I got it off the line okay. But big thanks to Sean this week for the setup. He was mega quick this week. It's unfortunate that he fluffed the start a bit there, but yeah, awesome pace from him, and hopefully see him right up the front and hopefully get his first win soon.
Once again, a fantastic drive, Josh. Fantastic start to the season.
Cheers, guys.
Wishing you all the best for your future things, and what a way to start a championship fight.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
We'll have a chat now to second place finisher, Madison Down. Very strong results, and looked like you were all over the back of Muggleton there the whole race through, but didn't quite have the goods to pull it off. How was your race, though?
Yeah, good race. Congrats to Muggo firstly. Drove just brilliantly again. It's been the story of this season. I just can't find a way around him, unfortunately. He's just got that slight pace advantage, and that coupled with good starts is making him pretty tough to beat. But great race tonight. Just didn't quite have enough to get the pass done. It's a really difficult car to pass in, believe it or not. But yeah, too good basically. And congrats to Sean as well. He pulled out a ripper qualifying time. It was a shame about the start. The first win for him can't be far away. And thanks heaps to him for the setup as well. It was brilliant.
You look super racy throughout the course of this event, though. Your car was looking good. Do you think that you've got more pace to come towards the back end of the season?
Yeah, I think so. I've been, even though a lot of the outside world stuff's been quiet recently, haven't actually had a lot of time to be in the simulator with all the race to reality stuff that's happening as well. So I think once that's out of the way in 2 weeks' time, I should have plenty of time to invest into the online series again and possibly have a crack at winning some races again. It's been a while now. As you said, Muggo, 6 wins on the trot. With confidence like that, he's going to be hard to stop, but at least it's a teammate winning the races. So yeah, great for the team tonight as well. 1, 2, 3. Look forward to next week.
That's it.
As much as a 1, 2, 3 there too, mate. Another tats.com 1, 2. I think we've started to lose track of how many times we've seen that over the last how many weeks.
Yeah, it's been a really good few seasons for us, actually. We've had some amazing results in the Tats cars, and it's become a bit of a week in, week out effort with 2 Tats cars leading the field. So definitely can't complain. The only thing I can complain about is Muggo beating me, so I've got to try and turn that around.
Well, looking like it's going to be a fantastic fight all the way through the season for those 2 guys. So nice work, Tats cars. Good work, drivers.
Thanks, Leah.
We'll have a chat now to Sean Kelly on the podium. Sean, you came away with your first ever pole position and a very strong 3rd place there. So how was the race for you?
Hey guys. Yeah, I was pretty happy to get my first pole after a couple of near attempts. And talking about jinxing, I think I jinxed myself with a start and had a bit of a distraction with a neighbour and 20 seconds for the race and lost a bit of focus. But it was all good. Had a good race.
Your car looked awfully quick towards the end of it. You seemed like you were holding on to the tyres because you had big pace over your Tats.com teammates up front there and looking very racy through it all. So do you think we can see an improvement from here, Sean?
Oh, I hope so. I was just looking after fuel at first, and then I realised I had enough fuel to run pretty much flat at the end. I just kept on going, but I played with the bars and brake bites a bit too much and made a few mistakes. But yeah, it worked out okay. I was about third. Was probably about the best I could have expected, or I guess. So we'll see what happens in the future.
Made a great start to the season, obviously with new teammates, and you haven't been short of pace, but it's excuse me, it's been a great start to the season. Looks like you're starting to gel well with the guys.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's great bunch of guys, much like LMO. I mean, I think most of the teams are full of great people. So yeah, it's been really enjoyable, just racing them every week, and yeah, look forward to the rest of the season really.
Yeah, looking forward to it as well, Sean. Fantastic pace for you. So well done. Another podium position to you. Congratulations, buddy.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks.
And Richard Hampstead, very strong fourth position as well for yourself. You were locked in a ripper battle with your teammates there. Fantastic drive. How'd it go?
Yeah, not overly happy. We've been a bit off the pace all week. Obviously, TTR's made a bit of a rocket ship setup this week. So, yeah, we struggled. I got a bad start. Couldn't make any spots up on the first lap, and I was behind Renz for a while. I had a bit of unfortunate contact with Renz, which is my fault. On my screen, I didn't actually make contact, but when you're racing cars from the other side of the world, you need to give a bit more leeway, so that's my fault. But and yeah, then I made my way past Brad and set my sights on Sean, but yeah, I couldn't make any inroads. So yeah, well done to Margot and TTR.
On that note, mate. Sorry, Leo. It was a great race from you, but good strong showing from all TTL drivers, mate. Fourth back through eighth. Really good showing from the whole team.
Yeah, well done to all the other guys on the team. We pretty much locked out the back half of the top 10. So yeah, that's an awesome result. Hopefully next week we can lock out the first half of the top 10.
Yeah, the cars have been looking very strong. And it's been a very strong opening to all yourself and your teammates. So wishing you all the best for the rest of the season there, Richard.
Yeah, cheers.
And have a quick talk to Renz Brookman as well. Renz was looking very strong earlier in the race. Not sure if we've got Renz with us at the moment there. But Renz was just saying you had a very strong start to the race. Unfortunately, it didn't quite go the way that you wanted it to. Unfortunate bit of contact there. But yeah, you're looking very strong so far.
Yeah, I had a good setup this week. Lost a few positions at the start, I think, and I was getting held up a bit by the Sean Kelly-Brett Ryan fight, and then I had contact with Richard and race over.
Yeah, unfortunate to see it ends like that, Renz. But you've definitely been on the pace every race so far this season, right up the front and knocking on the door of podiums and wins. Do you think that you'll be able to break through and get back onto that top step again?
Well, it's definitely hard. So I'm out amongst the TTR guys. Yeah, I'm trying. Although after this race, I'm not quite sure if I will race next week.
You've had great pace, mate, and the tough bit is when you see a battle up front, you see guys racing, and to try and get in there and get involved, it doesn't make it any easier when you're at Phillip Island, which is some parts of the racetrack are really tough to pass on.
Yeah, but yeah, just like I said, after a race like today, I'm not quite sure if I race next week.
Well, hopefully we'll see you back soon, Renz, because you're a quick man and it's always good to have you involved in the racing and the broadcast. So hope it all works out for you, and we'll see you soon on the track, hopefully.
All right. Yeah, thank you.
And Scott Uren, another driver who's had a strong race, and you're in the thick of it all, weren't you, Scotty? 17th, maybe not the result that you were looking for, but you're involved in some pretty serious fights.
Yeah, just towards the end though, to be honest. I thought it was pretty boring myself. Got caught up. Wayne was avoiding someone flying in front of him and just tapped us into a spin. It's a little bit frustrating going the wrong way on the first lap, so, coulda, shoulda, woulda, what could have been. But the car felt good. The guys at ANZ Motorsport put together a few good setups, and we merged it all into one, which was pretty solid. So, Yeah, a shame again. Second race in a row I've been turned around, but at least I didn't put it in the wall this time.
Yeah, well, the pace has been there. Hopefully, if you can put it all together, you'll be able to come away with a strong result. Looking forward to the coming weeks, I hope.
Yeah, well, I just need to find a bit more pace in qualifying. With 1 second covering 25 guys in this thing, it's hard to find. But if I just qualify a bit further up, I'd get out of that red zone in the middle of the pack, and yeah, things would be a bit more peachy, I guess.
As you said, there's nothing in it though. It's such an intense field and very tough fights all the way through. So only a little bit is what it takes to make the difference. And hopefully you can move on up there a bit soon, Scotty.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, it's intense in the middle of the pack there, so we'll see what we can do in the coming weeks.
Speaking of intense battles in the middle of the pack there, Marlon McMullen, you were in the thick of it all race long.
Yeah, definitely was. It was quite an interesting race, not the result. Hawaii exactly panned out in the end. It was a little bit demoralising coming last. It's never a nice feeling, not having the pace under your belt, but, we tried as hard as I could to fend off the guys. It's a bit of a hard track to pass on, so I thought I'd put the arms out and see how we go. And unfortunately, the pace just slipped away. I mean, the start was awesome. I'm 23rd to 15th by the end of the first lap, so we picked up a few spots there, but yeah, not the ideal result, unfortunately.
Yeah, you're up and down quite a lot, which is just the nature of the beast, it seems. But there was some really good fights with you and some other drivers out there, it seemed. So definitely good to follow along. Hopefully you can get some more strong results in the coming weeks, though.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, we'll bounce back after this result and going into Lagos. It's a little bit of a bogey track for me, Phillip Island, so we made up points yesterday, made a fair decent amount of points to buy us tonight. So, yeah, we're happy. We'll walk away with our heads high and come back stronger next week, hopefully.
That's the spirit, mate. All the best to it.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
And Bo Cattell, just knocking on the door of the top 10 there in 11th position. How was the race for you, Bo?
Yeah, it was pretty clean. Kept myself out of trouble. Just had a good battle with Marlon at the start. Had a bit of a average start, so I was pretty happy to bring it home with no contact, so that was good.
Yeah, don't think we really saw a whole lot of you on screen because there was a lot of other hairy moments happening out and all through the field. So I guess a solid result is just what you need sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I had a few issues in a couple of the other races yesterday, so I really needed to get some points, and that's what I've done, so I've got to be happy with that.
Well done. Then you're looking forward to Interlagos next week?
Yeah, it should be good. I've done a few laps around there, so nice wide, good track with good passing opportunities, so pretty excited for that one.
Good work, mate. Hopefully you can push on and move up a couple more spots, find yourself in the top 10.
Yeah, that'd be good. That's a goal sort of towards the end of the season, so yeah, we'll see how we go. The team have been really helpful, so look, we're coming, so it's just a matter of how long till we get there.
Nice work, mate. All the best.
Thanks.
And the man who was in position 10 this week, Ian Ford. Mate, you were in the thick of a lot of things as well. How did you go?
I reckon I did pretty good. I didn't really overtake anyone on track, but I just plodded along and managed to get the top 10.
Got to be happy with any top 10 result, though, especially with how intense the fights were out there today. There was a lot of contact, a lot of side-by-side racing. So to come away with a result like that, got to be happy with that one.
That's it. Even to just maintain position, you had to be extremely aggressive this weekend, and that's all we really did was just push hard and hopefully try and keep spots and manage to get there.
It looks like you guys in Multi 21 have been working hard and making some big gains. Do you think that there's more to come in the next few weeks, Ian?
Oh, definitely. After all we've led in the last about 4 hours, I reckon we've got a heap more pace to come for Bathurst and stuff.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. We'll wish you all the best for that, and good luck in the coming weeks.
Thank you.
And Lee Ellis. Lee, you were having a good little fight towards the back end of the top 10, but unfortunately lost a couple of spots at the end there. What happened?
I screwed up. I got a little bit of aero push behind Michael, and just ran a little bit too wide and on the grass, and off I went. And I really, really, really do not like Phillip Island.
Oh, that's a shame, mate. It does happen from time to time, though. But on that, then, what are some tracks on the schedule coming up that you can look forward to?
I like Interlagos. I had a look at it before. I actually thought it was Laguna next week, so a bit of a surprise. Man, I'm away for Bathurst, so yeah, I don't know. I'm just do it as each week. Just try and get there, but just could not find an extra 2 or 3 tenths that I needed in quali, and ran out of time as usual.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, mate, but still looks like you're in some pretty exciting battles, and hopefully when you move on to, I guess, some happier hunting grounds, you'll be able to have a bit more of a positive chat next week.
Oh, definitely. I hope I can be where Muggo is one day. He can just let me pass next time, and I'll be fine.
Yeah, if only it was that easy, but if it was, we'd all be doing it.
Yeah, I know.
Well, best of luck with it, Lee. And Tobias Cerny, you had a bit of an eventful race there, coming home in 15th place in the Power Bond car. How'd you go this week?
Yeah, hey guys. It was an interesting race today. Yesterday, as Marlon mentioned, we made our good points. So we had no real pressure in this run. Just wanted to have some good fun and battles, and maybe looking for some positions. And my start wasn't that good, so Marlon passed me on the start, even though he started dead last. But then we had a good battle together with the Osram boys and James McKnight also. Really appreciate it. It was quite fair and hard, but in the end, finished in a good 15th position, I would say.
Yep, got to be happy when you can come away with something like that. Didn't look like the strongest week for you guys on outright pace, but consistency is what you need. Is there anything that you're looking forward to in the coming weeks, particularly, Tobias? What sort of hot tracks have you got on the go?
Let me quickly check. I also can't wait for Bathurst and see how it goes in the official race after my quite good result in the Race of Champions. And yeah, coming through the final, Virginia and Montreal, of course.
Excellent. Well, we're all looking forward to those ones, Tobias. So we'll see you then, and good luck for all that. Hoping for a good result for you.
Guys.
And last man to have a chat to this evening, Matty Squizzer Barron. Coming home in position 14. I think you passed quite a number of cars out there, Matty. How's your race?
Yeah, got a really good start. I think I passed 8 cars before the first corner, so I was pretty happy with that. I usually have a goal to beat someone, and this week it was Marlon, since he races every week, and he's always just a little bit ahead of me, and out-qualified him and finished ahead of him as well this week, so it was all good until lap 6 when I realised I had to start fuel saving, which hurt me a lot because I fell away from the guys in front of me and ran out on the straight on the way home, so that's how racing is, I guess.
Yeah, it is so close though. We don't see you in the V8 Supercar week in, week out, Matty. So what's it like just jumping in here and there, especially after driving things like the HPD last night?
It needs a lot more practice than what the HPD does. So I've been putting in a lot more effort this week since Jay promised me that if I get a top 10, I can do the hot lap. So I'm going to have to do some more practice in the coming weeks to do that.
Keep working at it, buddy. I think there's a little while to go, but maybe we'll see you there sometime soon.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
What do you reckon, Sam, man? Was that a ripper race or what?
Disappoint our V8 Supercar series. It was a great run from the Tats boys. Everyone's probably going to get sick of seeing those two up there, but I know they're not. And mate, Muggo's going to miss a couple of weeks, and all the best for his wedding and everything else he's got planned. So yeah, it'll be a different winner next week, but it's certainly going to be a great show. And when you start to consider all the drop rounds, we're in for a heck of a championship.
Yeah, a long way to go until we can really start getting into that, but it's got all the makings of a fantastic championship fight the whole way through. But of course, as we mentioned, got some ripper races to go. Into Lagos next week, Bathurst the week after that, so there's still plenty more to come from these boys.
Mate, I can't wait. Some great racetracks coming up, and everyone loves the mountain, but before we head there, it's into Lagos. It's going to be a ripper.
Looking forward to it. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That was round 4 from Phillip Island. Fantastic motor race. We hope you all enjoyed it and looking forward to next week. So we'd just like to quickly thank our friends and sponsors at V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services, and the V8's online superstore. We hope that you enjoyed all the racing. I'm Leo Gray with Stephen Sandman Clark, and your winner for round 4, Josh Muggleton.